from north to south, no doubt. He'll take you down without a doubt. Don't you cross the mark. You know he comes from afar. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Ready for gift? Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. What's that?
Welcomed in the company of strangers, a dark night in New Orleans. Trombone Shorty crosses the street. Be careful of these wings, he says. They're fire that's spreading. Bottom of the boiling pot, steeping in those spices all night long. All of a sudden, the trumpets and drums stopped. I pressed my shaking hand on my still beating heart and brought them in. Ancestors long gone, every shining eye from faithful friends who reached out their hands, pulling me up, saying, come on with me. We're gonna walk over here and listen, don't you be scared. The fish swam, multiplying as if Jesus Christ performed a miracle, avoiding all the slithering snakes who hid in the roots of juniper trees against the current. We waited, singing, all the children of the world. He's got the whole world in his hands. But I sang alone. I sang in deep sorrow. I sang of my pathetic right. That was the night I realized that racism is taught and ignorance is bred. No child imagines such hatred and horrific violence on their own. They are shown by those who use Bibles as props, by those who visit church on Sunday when the very night before they were lighting up a cross. Automatic weapons mixed with high-pitched screams. This is not a nightmare. You are not asleep. It is a reality, a lynching of the innocent, this hatred ingrained in our cultures by soulless, insipid bigots. Skittles fall from tiny hands. Trayvon was just trying to get home. Little Tamir was playing cops and robbers with a plastic gun. These precious boys, just gone. I hope you never know what it feels like to lose a son. My white privilege allows me to go jogging like Ahmaud Arbery, to relax in the comfort of my home like Atiana Jefferson and Botham Jean, ask for help after a wreck like Renisha McBride and Jonathan Farrell, have a cell phone like Stephon Clark, leave a party like Jordan Edwards, play loud music like Jordan Davis, sell CDs like Alton Sterling, sleep like Ayanna Jones, walk home from the store like Mike Brown, go to church like the Charleston Nine, hold a fucking hairbrush like Sean Bell, get a traffic citation like Sandra Bland, all because some racist cop likes my skin color? I can even be arrested without the fear of being murdered. There is blood on the hands of a fevered nation, no taxation without representation, signs held over a tyrannical government. We are redefining a failing republic. We begin as we historically have, fists held high in protest. We can no longer agree to disagree. There are tanks rolling on our capital streets. We must vote at booths and locally with dollars while pussy-grabbing Hitler further repulses, glorifying unmarked bullies from his bunker. The military brass pushes back, a wide-eyed puppet fat-ass bars at the door. Enjoy your new address, 1600 Black Lives Matter. Too long you've disgraced this place with whataboutisms, fear, and anger. And of course you built your own wall around your white man's plantation, but it's got holes like all your lies, letting in the cries of our nation. Such ridiculous twisted risks we take masked and alone while recording violent images on our phone. 1,000 dead a week and still no masking. Small businesses drown as the economy is crashing. You call this great? What in the hell are we winning? My brothers and sisters, we need you in top form. Call on your ancestors. Pray, rest, revitalize. Wade through the rivers of malcontent until you reach their edges. Take your hands off your mouth. Pull your thumbs from your ears. Remove the blinders from your eyes. Now is the time to plot, to plan, to strategize, to organize and mobilize. We all come from the water. We are all babies born innocently, once held by our mothers. Our history we cannot deny. Our future we can change, if only we rise. Their words tainted by the soul, no composure, no control. We whip each other like slaves and masters who can cut to the bone faster. We form more cliques within cliques within cliques, labeling people's character by a pen mark and a number. Our privatized prisons have taught us well, wear my colors or go straight to hell. Images in our feed, a tasty Zuckerberg treat, paid for by the highest bidder, sectioned and sanctioned like frozen dinners. Treason, patriotism, protest, violence, minute by minute ingestion, real-time regurgitation. Don't let the truth elude you. Pay and pull up for the food you never taste but somehow fills you. Demure, he spits quaaludes, scenarios of real-life events meant to frighten you into bowing to those same polarizing issues we've gone over again and again and again. Gays, abortion, taxation, and war. But those pieces aren't even on the fucking board. Only the illusion to keep us splitting families, ripping each thread of dignity, drawing lines with callous fingers in the concrete. Infrastructure depends on oil. Follow the bouncing coin as they gerrymander away the dreams, tearing the very fabric of our country, our states, our cities, to the seams that leave those less fortunate, just like we've always been. Gathering threads of dignity, screaming, hey, what about me? For the sunburned cheeks that dig our streets, the reflection in the blade that cuts our meat. For the sons and daughters who quietly struggle to learn, do you hear the laughter of our past ancestors as you decimate history, smother another culture for being different than one another? But there is more power in numbers than those imaginary green things you hold in those pockets you stole. You know the natives are restless, and we do not believe a naked king can dress us. Simple. It's wise to keep it simple. Daily frustrations compounded by emotions, telling of truths or keeping it from you. It is not your path to walk, it is yours and yours alone. As you arrived, so you will depart alone. It's wise to keep it simple. We go down to the water and visit our long-forgotten ancestors. We build funeral pyres burying children we never knew. Whispers surround us, conversations not privy to trust. Judgment is a solid branch, stoking the fire as tongues lash. It is worthless to fight back. You are tender skin, you are ash. Keep it simple. It's best to keep it simple. Decades of selfless devotion, our tears mere drops in an endless ocean. We stand alone, feet on sacred ground, balancing the love we've lost with the love we found. Above, the sky screams closer. Clouds shift images of a mother and a daughter. It is no longer your time, no need to bother. Simple, it's wise to keep it simple. Inside the raging chaos, it is no longer your job to defend us. Over a decade gone fast, vulnerable in the present and vulnerable in the past. You are not a warrior, you are not her protector. You are fragile and aging, a rocking chair memory of a mother. You cannot ease this pain. Kiss her forehead with your lips, remove all doubts and carry them far away. When you speak, just keep it simple. Between the truth and lies, love and hate, between you and me, there is only the middle where I carried you, and with my last push set you free. And from that moment on, you were never mine. And I hope you now carry the best parts of me. Just keep it simple, baby. Keep it simple, baby. Nothing simple, baby. Keep it simple, honey. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
Jenna Kirkpatrick. Nice.
Hey, everybody. How y'all feeling? Everybody feeling good? Yo, if you're outside, it's a good time to start making your way inside because we're gonna get this poetry thing going here. How many people here have seen a lot of performance poetry in their lives? Yeah, a couple of you, not enough? Right on. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome to the Jazz Poetry Jam. I'm just so stoked that for everybody who made it here and for everybody that's watching online, I just wanted to let y'all know that, like, just don't feel like, you need to be silent while poets are up here doing their thing. This is not your grandpappy's poetry reading. A very important part of this relationship between audience and poet is hearing from you while we're up here saying our shit, right? So, like, here are some options that I'm gonna throw at you. Snap your fingers. Yeah? You can all snap your fingers. You can clap your hands. Yeah! You can go, mm-hmm. Or you can go like, oh, I don't fucking think so. Which brings us to our next point. This right here is a free speech machine.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some poets coming up here. They are all extremely talented poets. They have some maybe different approaches and whatnot, but the golden thread that ties all these poets together is that they all speak their truth.
Yes, sir.
Now here's the thing about the free speech machine, is that if a poet's truth is not in direct alignment with your truth, that might be a thing that you have feelings about. You may feel the need to vocalize those feelings. Please do it after the show.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There will be
Here.
there are going to be, so hopefully, right, some of the poetry that you hear tonight will move you. Maybe you'll disagree with it. Maybe it'll offend you. Maybe it will make you feel triggered. You are absolutely welcome to walk out the door. But if any of those things happen, then guess what? The free speech machine has done its job. Because if nothing, I hope that we can all really feel something with the poets that we have coming up tonight. Can we hear it for the band, the South Austin Underground Live? Yeah. All right. If you really feel something that you hear, there's QR codes all over the place. You can get out your phone. You can hit that QR code. You can make a donation. If you hear something that you really like, here's a trick that you can throw at poets. For those of you who don't do this a lot, you hear a line, you hear a poet say a line that you really, really like, and you want to hear it again. What do we say?
Rewind.
Rewind. That's right. So you want to really be involved? Then you could kind of toss some stuff like that at poets. Also, if a poet comes up here and says that they're going to be performing a new poem, they might say new shit, to which you say,
New shit.
very good. Look at you. You're a bunch of seasoned professionals. All right. Well, I have it's just such an honor to be able to kind of curate this night of poets for you. And my very good friend Riazam Morris came all the way from Washington State, right? Yeah. Yes, Washington State, to come and be here with us. So one of my all-time favorite poets. If we give it up for Azam
What up? I'm not gonna have music behind me because that shit'll throw me off entirely. So it's just me talking, but enjoy it. Also, thank you, Chris, and happy birthday. All right. So to the open mic and slam scene, this is new shit.
New shit.
And I'm only gonna do one piece. So this is called Collective Breath. Oh yeah, also I'm not a slam poet. Just, yeah. Okay. All right. I want to write the words that birth a collective breath, a belly deep moment, an instant in which we shift our understanding to one of our collective roles and contracts we've never signed and power upheld in earnest, and we exhale the fear that holds us frozen in facilitated parts. Words that open hearts to the agony of the dialect and the through line of hope that shrouds our choices. I can't find the words to illuminate why the golden rule simply means seeing the wholeness in the human being in front of you. To express that we're each experiencing ourselves and everyone around us, and so the number of people existing in each room is exponential in every moment. I want you to see in one breath the young woman standing before the trash can on 4th in Colorado, so hungry and desperate for food that her actual choice that steamy night was the closed white styrofoam of someone else's dinner or nothing at all for the 3rd night in a row. I want you to hold the truth of what that decision must have been. And in the next breath, I want you to know the woman before you now who trains boardrooms on how to shape systems, and I don't know how to tell you that they are one and the same. And I worry about your judgment from the moment I cross the threshold, how I'm gonna prove myself to this room, and I don't know how to tell you that we are products of systems that we sign off on every day, and that we ourselves are the very systems that we deride. I want to find the words to express how much I know that makes you afraid. How much I know it feels as though it's stealing your power, your freedom, your choice. And there is a truth that your freedom is both an illusion and the only choice that you do have. That's the agony of the dialect, the tension that breeds the discomfort and fear. And I want you to know how I know this. I want you to be moved by my scars, impassioned by my wounds, because these aren't only wounds I carry, instead the weight we all bear. And I can't find the words to explain what this means. And all I want to do is write the words that birth a collective breath. Oh, dang, Chris, one more. Y'all, I haven't done this it's been like 10 years since I've been on a stage. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Y'all
thank
need
you.
some love. Y'all give us some energy.
Damn. You threw me, Chris. Okay, I'll try to do one from memory, but I might mess it up and just, have some grace. It's becoming more and more this whole new wave, round, sound, confessional thing. And while Ginsberg saw the best minds of his generation destroyed, and Ferlin Getty was trading junk for the Isle of Man is free, we became a collective who couldn't see beyond the scope of our own neurosis. And somehow changing the world by changing ourselves has led way to nothing more than poetic narcissism. And still the world is turning, and still the fires are burning for a people who are nothing doing. Alan, I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by Ritalin, overtaken by Prozac, gone down the American dream, baby boom offspring choking down drug after pill after med. For what? We've bared our souls on couches, cross-country nannies. We don't need no stinking nannies. We've got therapists now and 9-year-olds who can psychoanalyze with the best of them. A generation of parents who weren't ready and children without a voice or a choice who left home as soon as they could, who were told to medicate or get out, who traded broken jaws for alleyways, midnight molestations for sidewalk solicitations, who found excuse after excuse for black eyes and bloody noses because they never knew that love is free, who traded bullets instead of punches, found peace on the barrel of a gun, whose 8-year-old brain, 9-year-old brain, 10-year-old brain was shocked into stillness by the side effect of psych meds. No accountability, no responsibility, no sense of home, who traveled cross country seeking visions of Cassie and the gang and found instead ideals shattered under the heel of expansion, who discovered the great untouchable West tainted by miles of orange at every turn, who went to jump from the Golden Gate to the pearly ones and found sanity in a call box, who sold their souls to the genie of capitalism for one wish, walked downtown and were overcome by brick-mouthed monsters, whose outlaw freedom rotted away 15 months behind America's best-known color scheme, who found the only freedom afforded by this great nation fallen down the hole of her grainer, America. Oh, America. Your pharmaceutical companies are destroying us. America, your freedom comes with a price tag. America, why are you not howling in outrage? Your people are dying, your children are starving. Your freedom is in your mind. America, when did nurturing give way to brainwashing? When did fact become opinion? When did you allow your ideals to be left beaten and swollen, lying in the dirt broken by the fists of your democracy?
Woo! Yeah! Yeah, let's hear it for Ree, y'all. Fire, thank you, Ree. I thought we might, start throwing curveballs early.
You did great.
All right. So next up, we've got a great slam poet, good hip hop artist, my very good friend, Michaela O'Kay.
I don't give folks their flowers who have haunted me. While they still step on this earth, I've saved those for their funerals. Bury them in the beauty they do not deserve. I often think of people close to me dying and how I would react. I don't think I will cry at my mother's funeral. I believe I'll do that at the wake. Why? Well, because she'll be waiting in the wake of the afterlife. God will question her, and she will have no answers because she will think nothing of her ill will toward me. She will say I was just being the best mother I knew how to be. She will blame her mother for not being there for her, but what about me? She will say she did her damnedest. I hope God will tell her she should have done harder. My parents believe heaven is in the sky as most do. I believe heaven is in your eyes, your stride, your mannerisms. Heaven is to be found in how you treat people. So for that, I sometimes, almost always, view my mom as a living, revolving dragon breathing hell. She is a living hell and heaven wrapped into one. If you see my Facebook or IG stories on Sunday mornings, you will know I post videos of my mother and I singing. You won't know I cursed her out beforehand. She saw me in the kitchen getting a sandwich from the women's meeting that I didn't attend the day before because of my pain. She literally tries to block me from entering the room. She doesn't know this is reminiscent of the time she pulled me out of my little brother's bed, re-injuring my neck and my back post-car accident, the death in her eyes. I mean the stare, the glare in her eyes. I gently express my need to eat something because I took my insulin before the drive to church. She moves out of my way, grimacing, of course. And I have to sit and pray and hope that the trauma of the pain she inflicts on me don't get to me, a sorta not today, Satan kind of vibe. I ask God to rebuke whatever demon was present. We start service. I am disinterested but attentive. My dad is preaching about how Christmas trees are paganistic. I think how they are too. They being my parents, the shit they do, how they move, how they hurt and keep it pushing, how they treat me. We can't be worshiping the same higher power, and I know my God is real, so theirs mustn't be. I tell myself this to keep calm, but instead it enrages me. I am so sick of my sexuality being my parents' flaws, their thorns. What about me and the pain I went through praying this gay shit away, cleansing myself ritualistically to rid myself of me? What about that, God? What about my pain and my sorrow? Do I not deserve to feel joy in any form, Lord? She responds, just wait, my child. I have to remove you to move you up. Just wait, my child. Your time is coming. I ask, is it too late? They say always count your blessings, but I haven't been feeling very blessed. They say thank God, but I don't know where she is to thank her. In fact, I'd probably question the shit out of her, ask her why she dealt me this hand and why I gotta lead this life. And I'm gonna kick the beat a little bit differently so y'all could just follow me. And I'm just do a little bit of this one. Ooh, wah, ooh, wah, ooh, wah, ooh, wah. I keep telling black folk this is why white people laugh at us. It is not lost upon me, my verbal degradation of the black body here. I should have said black gods and white figures. How are we so content with inflicting the same pain on our own blood that our ancestors had falling from their lips, their skin, upon them? This is a system. It is a sick cycle, circularly spinning, sounding cacophony against my bruised, blackened body. I once got a whooping because I didn't tell my mother good morning and instead was asking for my dad. Now, excuse me, but fuck them both, and that makes their blood boil over, makes the water in me tip over, and everyone knows when water tips, levees break. Didn't Hurricane Katrina teach you shit about black folk? How miscommunication generally leads to mishap, mayhem. My people dying now. All my nights are mornings, and my mornings turn to me. Mourning, mourning, my people drowning. And here I am, ironically spitting, insert a parenthetical up again. So here I am, ironically spitting up again, reminded of Eric Gardner's spit. Here I am, laid up on the ground, I mean again, with a mic, a premature funeral, as I am reminded of Breonna Taylor's eternal slumber. Here I am, hoping I don't get another 7. When I remember his time of death started with the 7, the choke was 7 seconds. I can't get this shit out of my fucking head. I don't know where to go in this life. Maybe I should just wade in the water. In the water with the ghost of Harriet Tubman. Maybe then I'll find home. I'm always looking for home, for peace, for sanity, for prosperity, for prosperous peoples, nations, and livelihoods. I guess the hood don't house home no more, but it houses familiarity. Maybe being familiar with my roots will keep the trees intact and the breeze from getting blown across my back or a palm across my face. But maybe a back blown, just maybe a king palm, or maybe a big black king's palm. Thank you, y'all.
Motherfucking Michaela, okay. Yo, and just by the way, every poet that you're hearing from, this is just the first round, so you're gonna hear from everybody again right as soon as we get through with this. This next poet, I love this man's style. It is so unique to him, and the first time that I was ever in a poetry slam with this cat, he said a poem that was sort of in like direct sort of philosophical opposition to the poem that I was about to do. And it was real fucking awkward. And I think he scored higher than I did, as he deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend, Jayden Eugene. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
How's everyone doing? Great. First, I just want to say happy birthday, Chris. Second, I want to say I appreciate all of y'all being here. I'm so grateful for spaces like this. Slam, I love Slam. It's very restrictive. There are some pieces like the one that I'm about to read that I would never do at a Slam, but I love to do in spaces like this. So, yeah. Doesn't have a poem yet, so very new shit.
New shit!
I wouldn't say I'm like a neat person. I have a closet full of old clothes I meant to donate. Snippets of small talk from friends stuck to the walls. Memories like the face of the barista who told me I had nice teeth the afternoon of August 28th, 2021. It was a Saturday. She had brunette curls. It sits vivid as my high school graduation in a pile beside my sock drawer. 20 pairs, none folded, all Nike black. Inside, it's like a soup of swooshes, a cauldron swirling with things I've long forgotten, a deck of cards that slipped out the pack, my middle school aspirations to become a magician, my high school dream of playing pro ball. I was so willing to bleed for them, but now those dreams sit bloodless, sweatless, and tearless, shuffled in with all the noise. Let's not even talk about under the bed. That's where the nightmares fall. The one where my girlfriend hates me, my mom dies, I'm 60 with rigid bones and a gut full of regrets. They're all down there, swarming. It's all a familiar mess. You know what's funny about clutter? It's delicate. The off-center of the TV, rug, and dresser is all a part of the feng shui. Don't fuck with it. I'll notice. When anxieties grip my ankles from under the bed, I can tell a new resident by the boniness of his fingers. I'll know if my clutter doesn't feel like my clutter. And lately, I've been feeling warm, like an unfamiliar thumb gently circling my wrist and mantras of affirmation from folks who mean it. It's okay. You'll be okay. I love you. The words are a stranger in my headspace. I look around to place them somewhere, but there's nowhere they belong. Comfort refuses to be flattened to a poster on my wall. I can't grind affection down to a powder and sprinkle it across my carpet. I just kindness comes in, and I just hold it. It replays endlessly in my mind. That sounds hard. I'm here if you need anything, yada, yada. And I think it's supposed to sap the tension from my shoulders and unbitch my resting face, but support is itself a burden. Like where I'm from, a tender touch is scarce and inconsistent. A grip is only gentle when it means to let go. Sugar means cavities, so when you love me sweet, I brush it off. When you love me patient, I hold my breath until we're both red in the face. When your love takes up space, too much space to stash in some corner, too fragile to touch the ground, too precious to discard, two thoughts enter my head. One, sorry, it's a mess up here. And two, I swear, I'm still holding. Thank you.
Yes, Jaden. Yo, that was so dope. What was that? That one line about like brushing your teeth? That was fire. All right, so the next poet that we have coming to the stage is my very dear friend who has been something to a mentor, something of a mentor to me in the poetry space. He's a real literary poet, not so much a slammer like some of the poets that you've seen before, but just a beautiful wordsmith, a publisher, an author. I think he's got like 9 books. I'm sure you could buy them from him here tonight. And by the way, many of the poets that are here will sell you shit. They've got like books and stuff. So. Sell shit. So buy a book. So find Jim after the round is over and buy a book. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is my very dear friend, Mr. Jim Traynor.
Insurrectionary, a love poem. I remember moving, hot, under the eye, pressure just behind, but with a gravity to us. Each word, its root, its sound, uncloaked, unlocked from the church of your mouth. Fields of your freckled skin, I remember falling in. I remember moving through you, a summer you. My silent worship beat through to capitals, split and sank the whole length till I was slaked, till the air and the ground were slaked, till the sun and the moon, the clock and the sea, and round cup of the earth filled, till every stroke and pace of and every motion of every moment was their blood.
Talk to him, Jim.
Steve Inskeep, care of NPR, Middle East Crisis Explained, 635 Massachusetts Ave, Washington, D.C. Dear Steve, how dare you? If you're reading this, I know you're making it as the game is stacked and information isn't free. Everything is suspect in the final century, and this letter should prove no exception. Every car manufactured after 1952 has come stocked with an FM radio receiver, but every generation born after the end of the American century has suffered a lower standard of living than the one before. It's bad and getting worse, and no one should have to suffer anything other than a ceasefire on the airwaves, or at least a recalibration as we consider who the real aggressors are for working people. I wouldn't draw battle lines with you at this dumb hour and in an even dumber letter, but then again, I'm not a journalist. 10 a.m. rings differently for a poet. In the thrall of the slithering strokes of capitalism, sure, I don't have to be anywhere today, except the Esperanza community, an unhoused encampment tucked into the horrible corridor of 183 and all points west of Tesla Town. I don't like your interview with Hossein Amir Abdullahian, but I don't have to. I could cue up the Joe Rogan Experience, but if that's my media of choice, then the biggest problem I got is not knowing how dumb I am, which is a problem, Steve. Ask you, though, if these were your options, what would you do? When the Dalai Lama is accused of pedophilia and Taylor Swift's new boyfriend is anyone but a climate scientist, all anyone can do is hold on to their withering day rate and read Yeats. I'm not on a diet of NPR and haven't watched the Joe Rogan Experience in years. Rather than forge another useless blow across the firewire for the cause of independent media, I'll just fire off a missive to you. Tell you to look alive. It's capitalism, baby. And high time you think about making a greater change than soothing the conscience of the middle class. I've no complaint or issue with you, but a great one. And other than this letter, my work is not with you. I'm going to work to effect change, maybe teach you if I can, and otherwise continue resenting you and the NPR staff in my Black Irish way. Rather than ponder what paltry choice we have, wonder instead what the difference is between the reality of what Henry Rollins called the America and the diminishing alternatives Palestinians have in the final century. Maybe you and the editors of Middle East Crisis Explained can fill the roster with something other than a platform. But don't get me started on your editors. They should be ashamed of themselves, but what the hell? The blood-dimmed tide of hegemony has soaked us all in blood and shame. They are not forgiven. Enclosed, 7 dead calla lilies from Unwound's last show at Levitation Fest last month as a symbol of the discontent with your program from anyone left of liberal in the Anthropocene, Abarato, Jim Trainer, Austin, Texas. The dead are often more a part of our lives now than they ever were when living. It's the living who are touch and go in this hard, fast life. And so, it is this moment that is a portal when we can sit and breathe and be together. It is this moment that is a portal when we can sit and breathe and be together and listen as the living. As the living. And the dead will whisper to us that this is love. And the dead will whisper to us that this is love. And the dead will whisper to us that this is love.
Yo, Jim, motherfucking trainer! He's been oft described as the Anthony Bourdain of poetry. You can dig that. He also does a very unique form of performance poetry called stand-up tragedy, which is, you know, a thing. All right, so next up, this next poet is the Truth. He is the Grand Slam champion from Austin Poetry Slam for 2022. Prepare to have your mind blown by my friend, Joe Brundage.
Joe Brundage is the truth. Clap if you're next to somebody beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell yourself you can't. Tell yourself not today. Say you're not able. You can't afford it. It's too hot. I mean, it's too cold and no one else wants to. Why does it always have to be you? You don't feel right. Actually, hold on. Let me start over. First of all, give it up for the band, please. My thing is, like many of you, I've loved music ever since I had oxygen in my chest. So I have a built-in metronome. I suffice it to say, the band doesn't follow me, I follow the band. So I'm gonna start the poem over, run my yap, and whatever they're feeling when I get to going, it just is what it is till it ain't, baby. You know what I'm saying? All right, so tell yourself you can't. Tell yourself, not today. Say you're not able. You can't afford it. You're too hot, you're too cold, and no one else wants to. Why does it always have to be you? You don't feel right. It doesn't feel right. I mean, they're gonna say no, or they're gonna say yes, or they won't say anything and you'll fail. You'll fail and they'll laugh and you'll die right there. So just give yourself any reason to avoid or evade. Let's just cite every drawback, cop out. Tell yourself anything, and I mean anything, to help you believe you should do nothing, and say it loud enough for me to hear you. So I can call you a liar to your face. So I can grab you by your neck, pull you from the muck and mire of your self-pity, just to wash you with the waters of what I believe, because I believe you should end. I think you should die. I think your life should cease. So you can live the life that you've held on back order, like the shoe actually fit. You're not allergic to the light, you just don't want it on you, and I don't get it, because that's all I've ever seen come out of you when your arms aren't folded. Let's acknowledge that you even have arms. Quit complaining that you don't have the strength, because if that was the truth, you wouldn't hold on to shit like you do. You are not a prisoner. You're a warden in a one-person jail, and what's worse, you're a workaholic. Wreak havoc on your hopelessness. Subtract it from the whole of you. Believe a little less in your doubts. You can't say that this is pointless if you don't pick your head up and look where it's pointing you. Scream, I love you, in a crowd just loud enough for you to hear it, and just revel in all that nervous happiness. I believe that's called glowing. You're everything you wish you were, you just don't wish to realize it. Pass on the plates of outside opinion unless you can be fed without suffering the indigestion of indecision. Turn why didn't I into why didn't I sooner. Change I don't know from question to statement, and quit whining unless you're trying to make somebody laugh, thereby making yourself a superhero. Accept your own friend request and quit fighting unless you're just sparring for when you need on with anyone, and I mean anyone trying to knock you down. I ain't saying look for a fight, baby. I'm saying don't run from it. Pretending it's not there doesn't mean it plays along. File a restraining order on your self-restraint and be the devil under all those demons of yours. Just because you created them don't mean they get an easy ride today, and quit reading all your little motivational posters and coffee mugs, because we know you ain't listening. You're probably not even paying attention to the damn poem. It's called Life. And it happens. And you better act like you want it, baby, but it's not yours. It never has been. It's a path. It's going to twist and it's going to turn. And yes, you will go where it goes. But I heard if you walk it just right, you get to rest while those not as far along as you ask you for the directions. And should you reach the very end, there's only everything waiting for you with the honor of a memory. But I mean, you're so much more than your misery, but it's not up to me to be you. I'm just happy I know you. I'm going to always be there, behind you, beside you, above you, with all of those who love you, waiting for you to erupt from that thick husk. I mean, cut through the callus of your conditioning and call whatever crawls out your character. To finally accept that truth that you will not hear as you've adhered to your cherished fears, that we are amazing, that we are made of both his and each other's love, that we are both fearfully and wonderfully made, that we are made of stronger things. Thank you. Please give it up for the band. So, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm still looking for the receipt for 2023. 1 star, would not recommend. I will say that if there's anything I'm grateful for, give it up for the band one more time, please. And like Chris said, a lot went into making this happen. For me, as always, no matter what, I'm too busy doing to notice anything I've done. So with that being said, it's not about me. It's about everybody who worked to put this night together for all y'all. We are celebrating the birthday boy here, but it should be noted that the birthday boy worked harder than anybody I know to put all of this shit together, to bring people in the same place at the same time. It's like the Ubuntu people say, people without people ain't people. And everything he does is with that in mind. So please give it up for him. Those of you watching at home, if you got any money in your bank accounts that's been getting on your nerves, we got the remedy. You know what I'm saying? Anonymous, I see you. I see you. I don't know who you are, but I see you. If I know who you are, I ain't gonna tell you business. I ain't gonna tell you business. But yeah, just I'm glad you all are here and do what you can to support watching at home. This poem, like I said, 2023, not my favorite, but I will say that I'm grateful that I'm stubborn enough to not know better when it's time to call it in. Like the song says, like another Joe said, I get by with a little help from my friends. And there's nothing that I do in this world that isn't done without at least a modicum of hope, which is the name of this poem. It is holding on with empty hands. The place you take after the line has been drawn in the sand. I mean, it is all in the way that you stand. Long after your legs have failed you. Long after they have forgotten they were there. The kite forever waiting for the string to break. Hope is what is left after the quit leaves you. It neither lies or deceives you, but it will convince you to continue. Hope is the truth in spite of fact. Makes your spirit stretch, keeps your heart and soul intact. It is not the ambition that blinds, but the light that guides. Hope is surrender, and insurrection is a beautiful act of willful rebellion against the institution of common sense and futility. Hope is necessary insanity, the very essence of humanity, the very impetus of perseverance. In a nutshell, it cannot be contained. If it is not irrational or illogical, impossible or improbable, it is not hope. Hope is a winged decision. Hope is freedom born of volition, blessed momentum and resolution. I mean, if you got it, you don't need a how. If If it is in you, you never needed a win. When you have hope, you don't need a why. You never say die, you just say again and again. When it's too close to call, when the jury is still out, hope is ascension above the mire of your doubts. Water when there is desert all about, fertile ground from which dreams will sprout, keeping you fighting way after the bell rang out, keeping you quiet and focused, giving you cause to shout. To have nothing left but hope is everything. Hope is what we are about. All right, so this next poet is so cool. Now, let's start over. You can do better. I love you. I love you because you tried, but no. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it. I mean, that was great. That was great. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm lying, but we can do better. Cohesion. This next poet is so cool. How cool is he? He gives Ice Cube's insecurities. His soul is so pure. How pure is it? He reminds gold that it has impurities. No, for real. I met this carbon-based life form a few months ago at the Austin Poetry Slam. The first thing I noticed was the one thing that we've had consistently in common as human beings, that both of us, no matter what, no matter who, no matter how, no matter when, we are both willing. When he walked into the venue, he was so very willing to get on stage, not to edify himself, but to speak his truth and to share his energy. He had just literally, I don't know if he had just walked in, he was just suddenly there and happy. And we were like, what the shit? Did you bring extra happiness with you? I left mine in the car. Damn. But he got on stage, and when it comes to slam, I mean, open mic is one thing, but when it comes to slam poetry, there's always a physics to it. There's a kind of science. There's your performance versus the crowd's preference. You know, it could be the greatest words ever spoken, but if they're not in sync with your frame of reference, if they don't like that you're taller than them, if they don't like that your beard is perfectly peppered in a way, I'm not jealous. Whatever. If they don't like that, it could affect the score, but at the same time, physics being what it is, you could pull a reverse and your truth can be so powerful that it doesn't matter any of those judges holding a scorecard. It doesn't matter what walk of life they're from. They heard you. That's it, and that's that. I've seen this man be consistent in every way, shape, or form, not just on stage and off, to be a human being, to be human to the very letter. And I have seen him use every ounce of energy and strength he has to make sure that you know that you are worth something, to make sure that you know you have a chance. If you have trouble getting across that line, he's the only reason you made it across, because you will always feel his shoulder against your back. And tonight, like I said, he is the main reason we are here on multiple levels, not just because it's his birthday, but because he took a bunch of people and told each of us that we had something that he believed in, so much to the point that he wanted to share them with the people that he loved, with the people that he knew, and with all of you watching at home. So without any further ado, I ask that you put your hands together for someone I regard as a mixed baby, half man, half amazing. And again, I'm totally not jealous of his beard. Please put your hands together for the birthday boy. Make some noise for Chris B.
Hi, my name is Chris, and this is a true story. My mother was a comedian. She was always on some funny shit. Like, for example, I was supposed to be born on December 25th. You know, my name is Chris. And this is a true story. My middle name is Nicholas, and I didn't get the joke until I was like 26. Yeah, bitch. On Dasher, on Dancer. I prefer remembering the funny mother to the one whose body was riddled with cancer. My mother was a comedian. She was an author, a wordsmith with thoughts like a sieve. She was a gift, like that 90-day supply of morphine for a chick that had 2 days to live. Merry Christmas from the hospice team, baby. Here's how that happened. So the drug pump went to the blowouts in a blood vessel, so the morphine lady gave me a mortar and pestilence and tabulated Ativan. I was told to mix the drugs together. I made this orally fed soup filled with copious amounts of opiates, and whether or not I measured the shot didn't really matter, because believe it or not, at that point, the point of the medication isn't to keep you alive. It's to keep us from remembering you as screaming as you died. Yeah, I know we're supposed to kind of talk in code and not say it, but kind of, sort of, some of the points a little euthanasia, ain't it? We do it for our pets. Okay, so I'm sensing that that last statement is causing a little discomfort. So imagine a scene, if you will. A young man is given a bottle of liquid morphine, 100 tablets of Ativan, and a mixing bowl. Told to manually mix these drugs together for him to then inject into his dying mother's mouth 100 milligrams of morphine, 10 milligrams of Ativan every 30 minutes. Doctor's orders. And tell me the point is something other than fucking euthanasia. We do it for our pets. The difference is, for them we use vets instead of young man who comes to really enjoy what was in that mixing bowl and then does everything that he can over the course of the next year to destroy his life to an addiction to those drugs before spending about 6 years in and out of rehabs and 12-step programs and then figuring out how to quit drinking and becoming a poet. My mother was a comedian. She had this one stand-up bit about the funny shit that people say to doctors to get scripts, you know, prescriptions for medical herb. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with me, doctor. I'm just kind of a nerd. Or, I know this is really, really frightening, doctor, but I have really bad handwriting. Ah, yes, 1 ounce of Afghan Kush to clear that right up. It reminds me of this old dog I had. He was an ancient golden retriever. His legs quit working. He was having all kind of seizures. We took him in and learned he had the canine version of ALS. Treatment options offered: CBD or death. Dog was very clearly on his way out. CBD is very expensive. So imagine another scene now, if you will. A young man and his young wife are at home with their very old dog. He is very sick. Everyone is very sad. There is a knock at the door. A woman comes in. She's clinical, but very kind. She makes a mold of the dog's paw print. She then injects him with something that causes him to fall asleep. Sad, sure, but it's very peaceful. There's nothing traumatic about it. And no one leaves a drug addict riddled with guilt for spending 3 excruciating days killing their favorite comedian. End of poem. How many people here have ever been to Rancho Relaxo? Yeah. This is a poem I wrote about Rancho Relaxo, but really it could apply to a lot of spaces where these types of people hang around. We are the makers of ancient tradition. We are the purveyors of potion, proprietors of passion, riding upon music and lights like amusement park rides, rising to heights that make the condition of frantic elation into a communicable ease that spreads through the sound of rhythm until we become a full-blown pandemic of collective bliss. We are the space between bases, where players run with reckless abandon and slide into home plate covered in rainbow mud and proclaim that we are resilience in the face of tragedy. We are love in the face of animosity. We are silliness in the face of cynicism. We are the promised land, where the promise is that there is no litmus test to tell who can sit and hit this with us and who has to hit the bricks. For here, we are all misfits, who above all believe that while out there, you maybe have to be one thing squarely or another. In here, one way or another, the darkness has got to give. And the darkness will give, for it stands no chance against a community whose ambition is to dance and play so late that the sun comes up and kills the dark of night, but not the good time. So while I have not ever met an occasion of either unadulterated joy or unimaginable sorrow that couldn't find its way into the blackout at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey, that cup done ran dry a long time ago. And when the whiskey stopped working, I had to turn to the pen. And while I've been liberated from finding salvation only in libation, I am not a fan of smoky church basements, and they are not a fan of me. Don't call me sober. Sober means somber, solemn, serious. Sober means not intoxicated. We decry seriousness. We do not bow to solemnity, and somberness is only reserved for times that can be followed by celebration. And we sure as hell are anything but not intoxicated. Yeah, I was mostly just a drunken clown, and while I've abandoned the bottle, I have rigorously studied the effects of an eclectic blend of psychedelics so that I have danced upon moonlight and skittled across the night sky, savoring the taste of the rainbow. I have been a drunken clown. I've been up at 4 a.m. sick with a run of the mouth. I've been sick. I've been big. I've been small. I've been poor. I've been rich. But through it all, I have been we. Always we, never he who does that thing they talk about on TV. He whose ambition is his damnation. He who is mostly only just known as his organization. He for whom the wellness of so many he feels lives on his shoulders. He who answers the same questions over and fucking over and over and over. No, he stays home. And here he becomes we. And for that, he is boundlessly grateful. This mic stand's not cooperating. South Austin Underground Live, one time, can we hear it? All right. Kind of same feel. Let's kind of stick with that same kind of feel, yeah. I'm going to talk about grief and masculinity. Yo, my chosen profession, it keeps me swimming in grief. And there's little relief in like a preacher giving a speech. I want to thank the Academy for these walls that are built stronger than Helm's Deep. They're all, you're so strong. Yeah, if you say so, kid. But not even a day glow trip about to keep another motherfucker from passing over the Rainbow Bridge. Now, anytime my telephone rings, I gotta brace myself for whatever the messenger brings. It causes a scene up in my head. I gotta reach across my bed and go for the nausine because sometimes it makes me sick and I just want to stay in bed for hours. It's to the point now I get anxious around flowers. If I have to sit through another set of stories and lies in the guise of a sermon meant to memorialize another person that's died, I'm gonna go on a diatribe that would do harm to the masses, reduce a red barn to ashes, and flip a fascist off his axis. It will be impossible to be within a mile and not see me. It's not because I'm big and strong or some shit, it's because tantrums come easy. Easy like retreating back into uninhabited places and grabbing onto habits that take homeostasis and knock it off balance. I used to think that balance was something akin to the absence of gravity. This is a beautiful bridge, y'all. Thank you for having me. Actually, here, meet my friend Molotov. He'll help you remember me. We'll hobnob over cocktails in cases of mistaken identity. I have been mistaken for a man who can take anything. But I am not. And I cannot. I'm just a walled-off pauper, covered in the scent of dirt, masquerading as an extrovert who don't mind carrying the extra weight, but walk with a little extra hurt. This hurt that's taken and couched and wrapped in 1,000 layers of sarcasm and bandied about as though irony has some ability to cast doubt on the fact that we all have to face our own mortality. The more time I spend in these graveyards, the more I see my own face looking back at me. Yo, I got out of bed today. What the fuck more you want from me? It's like there's this always dead. And there's a mask. Oh, ha, 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 ha. I have children and the beautiful looks on their beautiful faces, and I just wish it would bring more than just anxiety over the fact that one day they're gonna have to face this. More of these funerals, celebrations of life, services. There's so many, and they seem designed to remind me that we're all on a course to become ghosts or just memories. South Austin Underground Slide! Underground. My name is Chris. We're gonna do another round of poetry here in just a few minutes. We'll give you a little bit of break, let the band play for a little while. If anybody is interested, this album that I'm putting out, I have hard copies of it, kinda, and I'm happy to hook you up with one, so just come find me. So let's take a quick break. We'll relax for a little while, and we'll see y'all back here in just a few minutes.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, man. Thank you, Chris. Thank you to this amazing band and that amazing list of poets that we heard. Make sure you check out this album. If the cover art didn't get your attention, then I bet what is inside will. So please support all of these amazing just poets that we've heard tonight. Really, everybody just kind of hit every mark.
Each one has a custom poem. Each one of these albums has a custom poem, like a limerick or is that a limerick? Haiku, excuse me.
I think a limerick's like when like Tim fell in with the limb in the lake. Yeah, it's great. We got plenty to talk about because there's plenty of talent here tonight. It's cool. I mean, I always say it. Purple Bee is kind of a chameleon to any form of art that is willing to really be performed. And it's cool that we're performing on a Saturday and able to see this and share a lot of what these people have to say. It's cool, man. I dig the willingness to just say what's on your mind and really express real life shit. You know, don't sugarcoat that. Just fucking say it, man.
I don't know if you could read that limerick / haiku, but I want to read it out loud. Is that okay? Can I perform it?
Of course.
This is a custom limerick / haiku. I like to call them limerick / haikus. I'm going to start. Pay your taxes, please, or we'll gladly give violence this Christmas season. Thank you.
Andre 3000, you do not have permission to use that as a song title. So you're going to have to think of something else for your new album. But do crime, say poetry. This is really a cool experience because there's so many of these poets that have so much of their work to share. This is just a little bit of it. We've been putting some names up for you, and we'll be sure to give you a list of everybody you've been seeing. Show us some of their work tonight. I know that you know a lot of this community, Ebos, and you were really looking forward to this one, this stream.
I'm very new to the poetry slash slam community. Actually, I'm not even. Tonight's my first night, so they came to me, which is super cool. And look at this. So I want people to donate to get one of these. They're all different. They're all handmade by Chris. $25 donation goes to the artists and the crew tonight, and keeps the lights on here at Purple Bee, and also supports incredible art by our friend and our inspiration here. We are truly inspired by Chris Baker. I'm being serious about that. And he's making stuff and he's putting it out in the world, and it deserves our support. So come on, give it up.
Man, you had me fooled that this is your first time with this stuff, just the way you read that limerick / haiku. So you definitely had me fooled there. I was really excited. I'm super excited, honestly, to hear more music by South Austin Underground Live. And then we also have some other stuff besides some more great poetry. I think this is the old twofer is what they like to call it in the kids nowadays, right?
That's correct. If you're here with us at the building, Purple Bee in Valente, thank you for being here. You don't have to go home after the show because we have another show with the incredible Melody Trucks and her band, the Fitzky Brothers, the Fitzky Brothers and Melody Trucks. It's a show right after this show. If you're watching on the internet, we are going to cut the stream and then go live a few minutes later, probably, but that's just to refresh everybody's browsers and to get those, the notifications dinging on you. But so stick around. We got a twofer tonight. This is one of our last shows of the year, and we're going out with a doubleheader. Feels good, man.
Yeah, it does feel good. Yeah, email your local Twitch employee. Let them know to put Purple Bee on the map. We want to be in all those algorithms so we could share jazz, poetry, jam. We could share it all. We got it all, man. Purple Bee just sets no limitations. We stream like no one's watching. That's our thing. And I'm really excited that we get to hear more poetry, honestly, after that first one. I'm kind of curious. I'm curious to see what gets dinged. I like how Chris in the beginning of the night was like, all about free speech. If you don't like it, well, fuck off. And it's like, that was like, yeah, basically, why would you walk out, Because at the end of the day, it's like, if that shit pissed you off, it's like, it should have just given you new perspective instead of pissed you off. If you're pissed off about something someone said, maybe you should reevaluate, what you're thinking about. What? Right? That was a bar. Can we write that down?
You're talking to Nikki, right?
Nikki's looking at me like I'm talking to him for some reason. I think you said something. I think it was the way you read that haiku. You just got them all fired up. Yeah, let me read another one.
Do you want to read this one?
Dude, I performed poetry in high school. I competed against Shibuki. He knows who I am. Laughter is a gift, lavish and grand, for who gets it and who gives. Scene. Thank you. But seriously, that thing is just so cool. Like, just to have that, even like, I wouldn't say to frame it so that way you could read it still. Maybe take a picture on your phone. But like, if you put that up in your house as a piece of artwork, these shirts seem super exclusive. Show the people the shirt that they gave you that I'm gonna steal.
Yeah, exclusive.
Because it says "Do Crime," so I'm gonna steal that.
This is some behind-the-scenes talk. I don't know if he wants me to say this out loud, but he says he actually shoplifted this shirt from Michaels. So really living.
Allegedly. Don't worry, I have a pro bono lawyer that's waiting to pass the bar that said they'll cover us. So we're good. We're good over there. G, what's it like on your end of the experience, brother? Are you in the ground control to Major Tom?
Totally, man. Enjoying, man. This is, we're jamming here and enjoying the poetry, man. It's like Ebo said, it's the first time we're doing this kind of stuff, and I have to say I'm impressed. I love every second of it.
Yeah,
we're jamming in control. Badass band, good music,
yeah,
good vibes. We got a lot of people here in the house. Yo.
All right, shout out Big Joe on the bass, first of all.
Oh, Big Joe on the bass.
And I believe that's the very first upright bass we've had in this building. Is that not right?
No, yeah.
We had another one?
I think we did.
No. That was the first double bass in Purple Bee Valente.
Triple bass.
Prove me wrong.
All right, we need to find that out.
Write a
But,
haiku about it.
Maybe really 1 year, no bass, no.
Nah, we had that. Who had that hollow bass where it was like just the core parts of the bass? Remember?
Well, hollow bass don't count. It has to be upright bass. Right?
Well, hollow upright bass can.
Oh.
No, it doesn't work. Well, you know
Well,
what? Prove me wrong. Prove me
re-
wrong.
Prove me wrong. We researched this. Maybe people online can help us.
I put Grego
thought we
onto the
did.
oboe the other day. What instrument did you think it was? What you thought I was talking about? You thought it-
Oboe?
You know when I was talking about the oboe.
Oh, I thought bass clarinet.
Yeah, and but that's interesting. You know, like Grego, you could he's a sincere guy. Polish people can't really lie. So musicians appreciate art, and that was what's cool about having the music behind it, but also having those a cappella ones. I felt like it just kind of hit even harder. Kazuyu, yeah, you've been proven wrong by your twin.
Kazuyu.
Obviously the smarter twin. But
It's a fucking electric upright.
Electric upright don't count, bro.
we'll tune in tonight at 10 for this live debate.
Ebo said that don't count.
Seriously.
But seriously, I'm talking about one of the Groove Lab in 2024. I'm looking forward to the most is Lobos plays oboes. We all just jam on oboes. Can we get that going?
Yes.
Dude,
I like that.
I'm so down for that.
Lobos plays oboes.
Lobos plays elbows. And obviously, to everybody who purchased a ticket for this event tonight, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
If it's your first time at Purple Bee, welcome. We hope to see you back. We do a lot of different events, as we've mentioned previously, from improv jams to now slam poetry. We're going to have some beat making in here as of next year. And yeah, shout out Flea Lord and Lord Mob. Shout out New York, you heard. And they're wearing their. You don't gotta pack your Timbs and North Face for this one, you know, because Texas winter is a little bit different. Gives you an excuse to wear your winter clothes. That's like what I do. Shout out Scooter and Fuck Money Get Money, as always, custom, exclusive sweater
So,
here.
shout out to Abstract NCR is right here in the house, in the building tonight. Nature lover.
Abstract's
Allison
always on
is
some,
here.
man. Always doing some crazy stuff, working on some really cool stuff with some really cool people. And that's really what this is all about, man. It's a community. We're not just a
I think
live event studio.
Also, elbows should play with Lobos with elbows.
I agree.
And elbows.
Elbows.
How you feeling tonight? You like the poetry stuff?
Yeah, man. I have. This is a whole genre of art that hardly gets seen by a lot of people, you know. And this is the first time I've seen in a long time that it's put together. And when you dial in the music, and a poet is up there getting after it with super rhythm, you know, locked in, it's just badass. Yeah.
I agree, man.
Elbows, you could do this.
You could.
You think you could do that? Like, you think you could get? You got any limericks on you?
I got oh, none that I would say.
Oh man,
None.
I know
None I would tell right now.
We grew up hearing dirty limericks from Elbows. I tell you that much. He's got to remember a few.
Yeah, man.
This is a free speech zone.
Sorry, I blame it on, you know.
It's a free speech
Chemo.
zone.
Hey, watch what you ask for.
I got you.
Thanks, elbows. That's our dad right here.
Thanks, Dad. Also, I want to shout out Aaron on the bar.
Yeah,
Hey,
Air Bear.
Can you switch to the bar real quick?
Bar cam.
There they are. Hey, you're blocking the bar cam,
Hey,
dude.
bar
Eric.
people.
Hey,
Eric, move it. Turn around.
Air Bear. They've got a big heater. It's like loud, but it's warm, so they can't even hear us. Also, Allison, thank you for the Vibe Concierge work
Oh, yeah.
tonight. Very nice. She helped. There's a lot of data you got to know when you walk up to this place. You know, it's like it's a little disconcerting. It's out in the middle of nowhere, maybe dark, windy road you travel down, and then you walk up to this circus, Lord Mob, if you will, and we got to like fill you in on what's going down. You know, put the headphones on you, tell you where the bathroom is, tell you how to get on the Wi-Fi, tell you to grab a seat. But yeah, where to donate, all that. And it takes a village to impart this information. So thanks for our team. Nikki on the direction.
Nikki's always going the right direction. You can't drive a sick-ass Miata without power steering unless you know how to take on direction. Am I right, brother? Nikki just added some boosts to his Miata. Make sure you check out his Miata Instagram page. The band is looking like they're gearing up here in the live room, so you don't have to listen to us riff anymore. Enjoy some of my tunes.
There's a whole other set of poetry coming up, but first, South Austin Underground Live.
It's a big time cumbia. It's a big and it's high time for cumbia. Yeah, 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 yeah. Big and it's time. It's high time ahora mismo for cumbia. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. South Austin Underground Live, y'all. So I neglected to do this earlier, but the heart and soul of South Austin Underground Live is a very, very dear and old friend of mine. I would like to hear you give it up for a poet who inspires me consistently. Folks, this is Jenna Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Chris. Happy birthday, Baker. Common era. In the city of Samson, Emmanuel is weeping. His innocence mocked by a will for life. Dusty cheeks streaked with perseverance, he sees Mama and Papa, sunset and sunrise, a simple end and beginning. Neighbors stumble through wreckage, carrying his friends bloodied in their arms. It does not take long to hate, to feel it in your belly, full, pregnant with mistrust. Nefarious efforts, mangled smiles strewn on the faces of his dead playmates. Poison seeps into grieving minds. Hands coddle ears to unhear blaring wails of torture. Birthrights echo sacred languages, bootstraps tightened by disfigured fingers. Mama and Papa whisper secretly in the dim light of dawn. A plan is made for safety, and in a corner, Emmanuel is weeping. Mama blocks his ears for violent blasts and subsequent shrieking. Who will take this bullet from my chest? Are you my brother, my brother? Gray smoke billows from Yehudit's corner bread shop. Night moans. Mama, Papa, and Emmanuel huddled together in a wishing well. Mossy stones that once kept water no longer bother. Advancing fireworks hammer overhead, plagued by suspense. Did we run relatively? Have we gotten far enough away, my baby? Settling in gummy mud, Emmanuel makes finger puppet shows in shadows. Mama openly worries. Have we fled the terror of combat? It is doubtful. She cradles shivering Emmanuel, held in the cold tears of this wishing well. It seems they are safe, captured as a question of birthright or an amalgam. What perpetrates are puzzle pieces on the inside of Emmanuel. Papa is a scholar and he rubs his brow for the senselessness, for knowing better. Mama is an educator. She recalls material calculations while hearing bullets fly. How many of my friends, how many of my students will make it out alive? Emmanuel is 4. He dreams of bird songs, sweetbreads, and all those who came before him. Faces unknown are familiar. He touches a stranger's cheek without thought. They hear a stolen child cut from her mother and both scream in defeat. Above the safety of this well, a red sky crashes in relentless anger. Gray ash, smothering rubble, stark butchery, shrapnel. Emmanuel wails and begs of his papa, "What are we, da?" without one another. Emmanuel lowers his head in deepest prayer. His tiny hands wrench for his neighbors out there. Mama moans and falls to her knees, a constant companion to her dearest son, and soon Papa begins to break. If we lose our faith, all will be abandoned. This brutality of war, my boy, is never a viable answer, so we will wait here in this bitter wishing well until the innocence of others outweighs the memories of our fallen brothers. And one day, peace will come, my son, Emmanuel. He said I smelled like fresh catfish with just a hint of honeysuckle. I wondered how a Chinese man could be so country. He was cream, corn, and hamburger on a rainy day, and he knocked on my powder blue trailer, and I knew. As Elvis's eyes followed us through the velvet fuzz, side to side and denting metal siding. When I saw myself in the mirror, I grabbed at my wet, greasy bangs and tried to look hard. The black eyes and swollen glands, broken fingernails and blood blisters. It glazed my tongue. Tasted like heavy whipping cream. Gender doesn't make a difference when you're given a blowjob. Just put $25 on the bedside table and say something sweet. It takes time to get the rent, and running from your landlord ain't too fun in pink slippers and a long furry robe. I stirred my macaroni and I put in the milk and powdered cheese. Ham would be good, but it's too expensive. Maybe if I'd made the sauce thicker, like say, left some of the milk out, it may taste better. Under my pillow, I found the curly red hair of Tuesday and pizza crust. Being alone and produced, I lifted my heavy breast and powdered. It gets hot in Louisiana. Humidity makes it hotter. It still smells like rain's coming. Once my elbow starts to hurt, I know. I watched my old friend from school get married, and she had warm music and friends and an icy white cake with red velvet inside. Now later her grandmama said it was why she didn't stay with him. No chilling voodoo story topped mine, cursed at 9 with the widest thighs. When I heard that knock at my trailer door, my pan lids, they done shook off the wall. If I'd heard your voice or a call onto my mailbox, I don't know, I might have tied my hair up and come to meet you out. But you never called. So the door flew open and Elvis woke up to take pictures and watch. Thanks, y'all. Nice to see you. No? We're good? No? All right, guys, South Austin Underground Live, my amazing band. Thank you so much. Libby, Joe, David, Will, Cole. Y'all give it up for them. Thank you, Chris Baker.
All right, give it up for Jenna Kirkpatrick, y'all. She's a fucking, she's got the soul of a poet if I've ever seen one. All right, y'all. If you're outside, come on, let's start making our way back inside, because we got another round of poetry coming here. We're about
Don't
to
make us shut the bar down.
Yeah, don't make us shut the bar down, you hippies. All right.
Hey, hold on, Chris. I just want to mention one more time that your album, I'm here in the control room, your album is available for people who are here at Purple Bee. $10 will get you this thing. That's a steal of the year. If you've already bought a ticket, you get one of these for $10. It's just a donation. This thing is super cool, by the way. Props to you.
Yeah, they're all handmade. It's like very punk rock.
And if you're not here and you didn't buy a ticket, $25. I'm just trying to make you some money, bro.
A $25 donation to the Purple Bee. We'll mail you one. Yeah. All right, so y'all ready to start hearing some of these poets up here once again? Are y'all ready? All right, so we're gonna go in kind of a reverse order from what we did before, and I think that you should all brace yourselves because there is about to be some fire happening on this stage, and somewhere, I believe, is my very dear friend Joe Brundage. Joe Brundage. He's at the bar. All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
Hey, we do need to shut the bar down, apparently. Can't even get the poets in here.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah.
Everybody give it up for the truth himself, Joe Brundage. Keep it going, keep it going.
Short, I'm just concentrated. I'm working stuff out. Who left all this awesome up here? Give it up for everybody you've heard tonight. And this band. So, speaking of getting by with a little help, this next poem is about a certain type of individual. I don't want to cause any uproar, but you may know some of these people. If you're next to one, don't say anything right away. Just bear with me. Because if they hear me talking about them, they're going to look at you and be like, did you know? This poem is called Exquisite Mess. My closest friends are heathens, if not cryptids, aberrations, anomalies, oddities, true kaiju, Morlocks situated away in detached, nonconformist, flower-topped thorn factories that do not have to fucking smile for you. Freaks with razor blade grins, unfettered from your fetishes, unbound and willingly tied to their freedom, ground-pounding, light-working, earthbound seraphim, sin-soaked saints past and beyond forgiveness, living only to atone, butterflies that glow in the dark because they had to find their way out somehow, things that go bump in the night have tea with, monsters with hearts big enough to hold a space for you, know exactly when you need a hug, know to ask you first. Folks hoping to get their soul back. Souls that the devil won't even touch with a 10-foot pole. Folks that got nothing but soul left, pronoun-resistant, self-identified beasts too classy to be classified, religiously disillusioned, yet so spiritually devout that they carry the church inside them. Carry their demons just to give them to God personally. Keep crosses on their skin in case they forget God again. People who will love you like acid jazz and whiskey at 3:12 a.m. Cats that will neither be cataloged or easily referenced. Low-key masterminds, undeclared geniuses, some of the sapio-sexiest carbon-based life forms I know, wise enough to not know shit, know not to think themselves better than you, absolute badasses, people who didn't see themselves until they became invisible, people who didn't find themselves until they were truly lost, folks that will love you so hard that your doubts suffocate. Beings that don't talk to strangers because nobody is stranger than them. They who were absent, they taught everybody else how to be cool because they already knew. They who keep the day on its toes while keeping the night tired and satiated. Them who started living from their hearts the day they escaped their minds. Soldiers born in the shit will toe the line with you, stand with you, if not carry you. Warriors that will go to battle with you on every front. Fighters that will let you spout every single curse word but quit. Human divining rods, dowsing for the very best in you. Break bread with you because you have nothing if you cannot give. They who outlived the armchair prophecies became more than the labels levied at them only to make themselves my heroes when I tell you about my friends. My comrades, my tribe, my collective of individuals, be advised, we are not the we you are used to. Nothing like whatever your eyes may tell you. Believe whatever you heard about us. We give the myopic headaches when we come into view. We're not lost because we don't know who we are. We're lost to you because you no longer deserve us. Devoid of any explanation you might feel we owe you. My crew be so very motley, but this exquisite mess of outright outliers, this beautiful mosaic, this tumultuous tapestry of peoples from separate paths that I choose to move parallel with. We are the flotsam that drifted from wherever, bound by holding to each other no matter where the tide takes us, and I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they found me. I would not trade them. Not a one. Thank you. So I've had rum, and since the scarf came off last time, I'm gonna take off the jacket for this last one. It's going right back on as soon as I go outside because the cold loves me. As a poet, I would be remiss in my duties if I did not get on your nerves with, oops, sorry. I know what that does. Thank you. And give it up, matter of fact, give it up for everybody behind the scenes. Everybody operating a camera, sound, boom, mic, behind a board. Without you, this does not happen. This does not happen, and we thank you very much for that. All right, so that being said, it is time for the obligatory love poem. So the other day, we're sitting there. Sitting next to each other as we tend to. And like we tend to, we start staring at each other, only it's different this time. Her eyes are staring right at mine. They're burying a hole into me, drilling into me, and they're talking. They're saying things like, so, are you available? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm yours. And since then, I've written your name on the walls of my mind, the halls of my heart, the ceiling of my soul, only to discover that I need more room. Without hesitation, you have embraced me. And and I have forgotten that poem because it's been so long. Actually, I'll do another one. Give it up for love, though. Give it up for love. Now, I know I got it. Without hesitation, you have embraced me, never once consumed, wholeheartedly taking on the responsibility of loving me with reciprocity. Because I need to be with someone that I can relay my thoughts and feelings with without fear that they will shun me, because we realize we're all in the same ship together, right? All the while she sails a sea of love, looking for the secluded islands in my mind, searching for some place to start her quest, and yet every time she sits astride me, next to me, or so much as places a hand in my chest, I think she knows she's getting closer. And to give credit where credit is due, you are a secret worth keeping, if not a crime worth confessing. You're worth me being wrong if you ain't right. Either way, you're just a blessing. And for me to say that I love you strictly for your heart, your soul, your mind would only be half the truth, a lie, and therefore unkind. Baby, I am sorry, but it ain't just your character. I mean, I don't know how you do it, how you set yourself apart, how you and your design redefine the very meaning of divine, how you have perfected being beautiful into an art, as you act like you don't care that as I stare, you've got me shaking my head, gritting my teeth, and grabbing the air, making me and my libido want to run up on you incognito and place on your hand, on your thigh, and bite your earlobe and incite you to invite me home while we grip sweating hips under a slow dark blue strobe. But that is not the point. What I've been meaning to say is that I love you in so many ways that I've said it 7 times a day, and that's when I say it once. I've observed moments of silence for the fallen I love yous that have died, never reaching your ears, and I make my words strong enough to carry you from moment to moment for all the days that I can't, and I interpolate them in subtext in between every little thing that I say, so when I tell you we're out of peanut butter, I'm thanking you for not devouring my soul, even though I'd gladly feed it to you and allow you to wash it down with my spirit. And when I don't say anything, I'm really not saying anything. I tend to talk too much and I'm just giving you a break. And when I'm saying nothing's wrong, I'm saying you made it right by being there. And when I tell you I don't know what I want, I'm saying I spent quite a bit of time inside myself. I decided I'd come out for a moment to play, and I wouldn't mind if you joined me. And now that I know that your eyes will never be the color of goodbye, I just want to thank you for loving me so soft and so brave. You didn't change my skin back from stone. I am here by yours from my brown to the bone, and I humbly suggest that we take forever off layaway. Maybe not right away, but someday. I'm just saying.
Joe Brundage, the truth himself. Give it up. There's some more seats if y'all stand in the back, want to come up, sit down. All right. So, all right. You guys have been introduced already, but this next poet is straight street poetry out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He is getting ready right now for this set by slamming some cheese steaks and a couple Ginny cream ales. So please give it up. Jim Traynor! You're clapping, you're clapping.
Every dream to come true must end. The sleeping no better than the waking. The alms you surrendered carping freight. We victimize for our Savior. The perfect dark gets marred and hued blue by contusions of daylight. His message is no secret. The truth is a garden of walls. We mouth the words, pen and pin, anything wan or tender, and routinely in penitence we kneel still as targets as our prayers line up to shoot us down. This isn't a review of Unwound set at Levitation Fest in Austin on October 26. It's been 20 years since their heyday, and even longer since we had an underground or that I even cared. It's autumn in America. Unwound autumnalis. The sublime moments of lurching stasis this band holds, sonically tumultuous otherwise, are the peace that comes from giving up and giving in to anything, everything, and at last embrace a pain that's not going away, but literally they're just three dudes and a chick blowing out a dwindling night at World's End, cascading and colliding, luminescent and lonely as ever. They played no encore. They threw flowers out into the crowd, mums and roses and calla lilies, green spears of holly, and all to their quintessential and anthropocenic feedback. Roses for Vern, who got took by the white boy summer of 2020. Lilies for my father and Blair. And mums for anyone who couldn't be there, including those who would be killed in the hour or so it took for Unwound to run their set down. As armed forces prepared to advance, and you weren't there. I've no need to say goodbye to you. Lester Bangs said it already. He said goodbye to all of us years ago when the king died and presciently reported there would never be a unified theory of culture or anything else from now on. So allow me to sink the final nail. Say goodbye to the music review and even live music if we're not careful. The crowd was good at Levitation, sure, and I won't forget seeing one of my favorite bands and the evocative smell of the always unwashed hair of the punker standing in front of me and just beneath my nose. There weren't any words, but it wouldn't be unwound to try and voice them anyway. The band played under a waxing moon, shrouded in a fall mist, the rain beating on our necks as we were taken by history and lost in the bloody fray. The band played, and you weren't there. Picking up a calla lily from my feet, I left the lights of the park behind and walked from the crowd into a warm rain. Driving through it and getting in, locking the door and adding the lily to the half dozen I bought the day before, walking past your house, crying and remembering you. I will forget you. All we've got is the show now. It's autumn in America. Don't settle for another review. You're not the only one happy about this being over either. Editor Zoe ain't getting paid, as very few and less of us in the underground are. See you at the show, or not at all, and as we off another century, Kuikarat, Jim Trainer, Austin, Texas. Thank you. I'm like Jane Fonda. It's my third act. Carrying roses without paper up the hill in the record-breaking heat with dark sunglasses, a fuck you face, and shirt sleeves blown open by the hot wind. When I see me staring back from a storefront, I pick it up, get ahead of each moment before it's taken by the past.
Yo, Jim Trainer, huh? I just want to remind you guys, we talked about this earlier, but for some of y'all who maybe came in a little bit later, the point here is not for you to listen quietly, right? Like, you hear some shit you like, make some fucking noise about it, right? You hear some shit you want to hear again, what are we going to say? Rewind. That's right. Very good. Let's practice for a minute. Everybody go, ah. Yeah, good. Try snapping. That's good. Try clapping. Try stamping your feet. Try going, ah! Yeah, goddamn right. Okay. This next poet. Let's hear it for Jadon Eugene. You're clapping.
Hey y'all, my phone's running low, so if it dies, we're gonna hope this is memorized. What kind of phone is this? Android. Okay. Turn GPS off, bro. It's a good idea. All right. Content warning for Black Death. To my imaginary son in the year 2035. If you scroll real far down a white person's Instagram, you will probably find a black square. I need to explain what that means. We are always dying. We are sometimes the topic of dinner table discussion. Other times, we are corpses they are numb to. Old news. A faded BLM sticker on the back of their Subaru. I want to make it clear, when it comes to white people, it's not the white that's the problem, it's the people. They do care, but there's a chasm. We really don't bleed the same. Our blood spills. Their blood, at best, will boil and then simmer and then sit comfortably at 98 degrees. That's the thing about heat. They can carry it, but I need you to keep it cool, my son. Especially if you get pulled over. No side eyes, no snarky comments. Keep your hands on the wheel. Move real slow. Don't look like you're grabbing something, because they will grab something. You know how the pen is mightier than the sword? The gun is both. Both law and its incineration. Both the murder and the eulogy. A blood-splattered canvas is just a canvas. They can still paint you as the villain. History is written by the gunslingers. Whoever draws first decides who drew first. A broken taillight can turn to felony possession in the blink of an eye. So I pray you never get caught. And I still don't know if God exists, but the devil does. I've met his advocates. I've seen his sympathizers. There is no footage you can capture that will convert them. Son, I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm sorry you have to see this.
Hold on. I'm with the state authority. I need to perform a short inspection, if you don't mind. Hold on, let me see this right here. Everything seems to be in order. Carry it on about amongst yourselves. There's nothing to see here. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me check that. This is thatting. That is this thing. Okay, we're good. We're good. Here we go right here. Just hold on to a little tiny square there, son. You're a good kid.
Joe B is the fucking best, man. Like, hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do a lighter one. This is called The First Airbender. The coolest thing about being weightless is I don't need a car. I am the breeze. To get downtown, I take a deep sigh. I blow raspberries to reach my mailbox and then flap my fingers back to bed. Words don't faze me, they phase through me, flutter around me. It's just hot air. When a stranger calls me the F-slur, he's just blowing me. I blow back as I laugh in his face. I face a racist cashier and forget the interaction by the front door. I shed all the weight. The weight of my parents' divorce, the force of her foreign hand caressing non-consensually, I mean all the weight. Thoughts too heavy for one brain, images too vivid for two eyes, I just stop looking. Give up like Sisyphus and let the rock roll down the hill. Give up like a lifted anchor and wade through a cloudless sky. I could spend a lifetime beyond this ground without a thought behind these eyes. The worst thing about being weightless is I can't carry anything. Birthdays and deadlines slip through my memory. Weeks pass in moments. Moments mean nothing. It turns out everything worth holding is made of substance. These days, I scroll past Black Death like it couldn't be me, like it couldn't be my sister. These days, I leave loved ones on red like they'll live forever. I find punchlines in tragedy. I swear I'm not making light. I just don't remember how to be heavy. I don't remember anything. I could hardly recall the crosshatches on my ex's wrist. I wish I could become compassion instead of just trying to hold it with my hollow hands. The thing about being weightless is I'm just floating. I'm not flying. See, like if I'm flying, all these people and their problems look like ants squabbling over mounds of dirt, but I'm just floating. I'm not above y'all. When I shed my body, it was still bound to me, waited with all these knots to untangle, making a mess of my insides. I have neglected to plant trees because I will die before I feel their shade. And how selfish of me to think that nothing matters when matter is all I am.
Jade, you, Sheen, oh my God. All right, you're already clapping, you're already ready, you're already making noise. Let's give a big warm welcome to Michaela K.
Don't be nice, Gemini.
Jingle that, poet, jingle that.
I'm also going to follow suit and give a fitting content warning of sexual assault. Feel free to get up and walk the fuck away if needed. I will not be offended, harmed, or made to feel any type of way. Her hood houses healers. They took the trouble, turned this teenager triumphant. She, still subsiding, sulking, sternly speaks sorrowful sorries, spoken softly, salutes sister, saying she's sorry. She's sorry she didn't speak up sooner. She thinks she knows she probably could have saved sister some healing, some trauma. She knows if she spoke about her rapist, her sister probably would have spoke about hers, and her brother wouldn't have experienced his back in his college days. She knows she could have stopped the hood from hurting their thighs. She knows we are not the sum of our silence. She surmises she could have truncated or stopped their cries. Succession, she feels so small and wholly inadequate. She knows she wouldn't have stopped. She feels their words couldn't have stopped, as all of these are heightened, individualized, different scenarios, situationally containing the same X variables. Niggas really don't be giving a shit, and bitches don't either. My bro don't know about this shit, and I plan on keeping it that way. But when my rapist ravaged his way through an unwelcoming opening that belonged to my brother's then girlfriend, I went back to my dark black uninhabitable home, and I waited there in my mind and experienced everything all over again. That was just 2 years ago. The thoughts have begun to resurface again. I think about getting into therapy. I know I'm not ready for that. You think, you ask, how do you ready yourself for therapy? She explains, she doesn't know. That's why she hasn't wrapped her head around the idea of going again, exposing herself again. She says that's exactly what's keeping her from going. She knows that she's going to have to confront everything at some point, and that is something she's never done before. She doesn't know when she'll be ready either. She hopes. She hopes soon, though. 'Cause she needs it. She'd benefit from it. Thank you, thank you. Bro, my friend's sister, who is also admittedly my friend, I just had to clarify or establish distance because I have to do that sometimes to stay sane. And these are worthy of establishing distance in my brain, of establishing a sense of sanity, because I guess that's important to me. Though it doesn't mean that the second person in this story was any less gracious or understanding simply because she was second to get to know me, though she is. Second. Because her sister, who I'm keeping anonymous, though I know I don't have to, because she'd love to hear this and know I was talking about her, I'll probably tell her, is definitely fine as fuck. I mean, she's definitely number one. My friend's sister told me she saw my poetry and she loved it. I want you to keep writing. She told me in the stillest, faintest voice ever, she told me to keep writing. I was rolling a blunt and found that funny. 'Cause she don't know I contemplated stopping. I was getting angry in life, and it was transferring to my relationship with the mic, with opening my heart every night in preparation, and that and my soul on Wednesdays. She doesn't know I am tired. She doesn't know I cry alone at night, and none of these words are healing that pain. She doesn't know that that is sometimes the only reason I write. All the times, that's what I write, what I think. She doesn't know I want to quit slamming. She doesn't know I'm crying right now. I'll probably send her this Instagram live and just say, yeah, okay, look at this though. I might throw a mile on the end of that sentence just to keep things spicy, to keep her questioning, awaiting an answer that may never come. It is imperative for me to state I only ever saw a friendship here. She be a light here to this dark hole. She was just complimenting me. I mean, healing me. And smoking a blunt with your bitch, you dig? And I write this aloud this time. Thank you, my friend. I'll do my fucking best to keep my pen to the pad, my hand to this paper, yes, for you. I'll continue this journey and continue writing for me, mostly. She also told me she thought my Facebook account that she was viewing the videos on seemed hacked. Yeah, it was. I really don't even know how they got the videos. Does that mean that somebody on my current account, which is Kayla Vet, if y'all want to add me, is compromising my social media? Like, what the fuck? Anyway. I know I have more to say. So for now, my notepad stays open. My light stays on. Meaning blunt still lit. I guess I better get to writing again.
Michaela, okay! All right. You're already making noise. You're already making noise. Come on, let's hear you. Let's bring up this next poet. This next poet, Ree Azam Morris.
Come in here for this, yeah. All right, this is new shit. 57 days. Our bloodline soaks the soil in Palestine. Our genes paint the rubble. Our traits, the scattered shrapnel. The thing about grieving genocide is that it's ongoing, that there is no break to breathe. Can't open Instagram without images of babies spread out across tables, swaddled and dying because the hospital has had its power cut. And if you didn't know, babies in the NICU can't live much more than a few hours outside of lifeless incubators. There are too many people in this world who are trying to look at both sides when this is the first time they've borne witness beyond propaganda they've been sold. I see you pleading not to be seen as a monster with your caveated calls for ceasefire and your hesitation and insistence for both sides. You want to talk about how you wish for a definition of peace informed by your privilege. I want to talk about dreams. Dreams. Sorry. I want to talk about dreams. Dreams that live in the eyes of children. Dreams that luxuriate in the opportunity to live out their truths in the hearts of babies, exulting in the moments when they get to shine forth from bright eyes, nestled in rosy cheeks. 57 days. How many children's dreams does it cost? Let the record show that in 2023, the state of Israel executed a plan of ethnic cleansing. A 75-year occupation was not enough. No, there will be total annihilation, and the Gaza Nakba has the eyes of the world upon it. 57 days. There was a period of time in the last 57 days that a Palestinian child was killed every 10 minutes. The Israeli plan of self-defense included a litmus test of first bombing the most internationally connected hospital in Gaza before taking out a following 4 children's hospitals and a cancer hospital. This is not an act of war. This is what the execution of total annihilation looks like when it happens in real life. The movies could never have prepared you for what this means. 57 days. 57 days of being expected to patiently explain that you either stand for genocide or you don't. Seething. Images of stolen dreams running through the mind while the mouth must make room for both sides. There are those in my family for whom the horrors of war reflect in their gaze, a hollow look, barren, dull at the edges. Far away and long ago, battle for leading role on the stage of the moment, lurking in the wings, from the corners of the eyes. There aren't really words to describe what that truth is, what that place is. Or maybe I simply don't have them. But even as a child, I recognized it as a place where dreams go to die. And for 57 days, I've seen that place in the eyes of children. 57 days. harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay. 23 days. Since I was little, I never understood how we move, how we daily walk through agonies and horrors, the monotony of cruelty, a murmuring through fluorescent lights. Breath caught by today's news. What about the babies? Show me hope in the concentration camp and tell me even they had resilience, as though mothers weaving tales of greatness and magic scored by annihilation is somehow a balm to your guilt for allowing it to happen before your very eyes. I'll not give you my grief. You'll see smiles. Sometimes, laughter trumpets through back alleys, blasting brick into clouds, filling our screens, massaging mortar mortalities into spectacle. You know, my therapist told me this summer to start doing daily affirmations. My first assignment, I live in a loving and abundant universe. 5 times, twice a day. This will cure my depression by realigning the chemicals firing through my synapses or something. She's one of those people I always ask, how? How do you move alongside this cruelty? And so now, I live in a loving and abundant universe. 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 Last weekend, my city held a rally for peace. Last week, City Council signed a proclamation standing with Israel, each member passing beneath the Ukrainian flag as they entered the chambers. I live in a loving and abundant universe. 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 Once in its lifetime, the Statue of Liberty cowered beneath thick black plumes of human misery and fear. The next day, well, America has never been more united than on 9/12/2001. Unless, of course, you were brown, with such a well-educated populace that the very first victims of united America's intolerance were Pakistani. I live in a loving and abundant universe. 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 Recently, I heard a voice message from a mother in Palestine, echoing through the tinniness that could only be a WhatsApp message. She proclaimed to the world to uphold her 4-year-old as a martyr, seeking a solace that in the horrors of holding her child for the last time merely hours before could only be found in a desperate plea that her mythology is the one true way. Otherwise, how can she take her next breath? I live in a loving and abundant universe. I live in a loving and abundant universe. I live in a loving and abundant universe. Canada geese are veeing across the sky as I try to put into words horrors we've learned to compartmentalize. Once, I found that to be the liberals' greatest sin, burying heads in the sands of privilege with their Black Lives Matter signs artfully staked. In this house, we believe that there's nothing we can do about it. That we just want peace for all sides. And well, what was she wearing? And what about October 7th? Passes quietly behind our hands in our living rooms and our coffee shops. I live in a loving and abundant universe. 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 Balfour declared over 100 years ago that that baby would become a martyr last week, and half of you are gonna have to look that up. I won't give you my grief. As we walk into the coming days of communing with ancestors we keep creating, only rage directs the mundane. I never understood how we move through this cruelty. And I wonder, where will the birds fly? I live in a loving and abundant universe. 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 I live in a loving and abundant universe.
Yeah. Woo.
Baker wanted me to introduce him after that, and I don't really know how, except to say that he's fucking incredible. Happy fucking birthday. Thank you for bringing all of these amazing people together. And if you're like watching at home, make donations. Purple Bee Studios has been doing incredible shit, and we're so grateful. And fucking Chris Baker, I don't know where you are, but it's your turn now. Come. Make some noise.
We have all been through the agency's machines. They used to screen weary travelers. On an occasion they've seen what they believe to be foreign objects in the pockets of our jeans. What is broken in those machines that it seems that the monitor screen is always picking up things that aren't there in places where there are things? Please step to the side. Would you prefer a private screening? And we all decline, despite just how demeaning it is to have this agent take away our agency. We need to get to our gates, and so mostly impatiently we're wanded and swabbed and poked and prodded and robbed of all decency. Please spread your feet and hold out your hands. No, not like that. No, hold up your pants. This whole song and dance is confused and chaotic, and instead of just fucking checking your pockets, it's, I'm gonna run the backside of my hand up the inside of your thigh. Yo, I consent without expecting him to go as north as he goes, and in a moment that would cause any man to bemoan his own existence, he knocks into my nuts, and I wince cause it hurts, and it trips this reaction that happens whenever a nutsack gets tapped by a hand, but it happens. Alarmed, he goes and gets another guy, a supervisor maybe. He got on a different kind of badge, and holy shit, this is crazy. Again, hand, inner thigh, balls, wince. Ouch. So a third agent comes along, and this whole thing plays out again, only this time I try to control the wince, and I freeze, but this dude turns his hand over and squeezes my piece. And befuddled, he's taken aback by this mystery, this roughly penis and testicle size oddity in my crotch, and he stops and he says to me, "There's something in your pants." Yeah, dude, but it's not an explosive, it's just the thing that makes men need to keep up with the Joneses. Unamused, these three men drag me off to another room where the strip search begins. There it's, hold out your hands, hold up this drape, lower your pants, spread your legs. This goddamn man puts his hand on me one last time as he reprimands me for being confused by his folly and sticks his fucking hand in that space between my leg and my penis that's supposed to be private, or at least that's what I believed before I met these men. They find nothing and seem disappointed. I don't know that I blame these agents, I just know I feel a stark raving shame. It's maybe the agency or the agency's machine. Your agency claims to place so much trust in that machine, but that machine is not protection, that machine is just theater. And if your machine is such a beater, it can't be trusted to tell a penis from a heater. I'm not so sure we should trust the whole agency either. Yo, when I was a young boy, I had a friend. And this friend had an older brother. And this older brother figured a little me would make an excellent lover. Well, not love so much. No, see, this motherfucker treated my body like a pin cushion. And this is not that. But this is not a competition. Any unwanted contact with a crotch is a violation. But you must violate us, huh? Otherwise, how would we learn to act right? There's a word for that. And we picked it up from the 1944 film Gaslight. I am a middle-income, middle-aged, straight white male. I understand my privilege and that my plight might pale when compared to the experiences of others. And though this is not a competition, no, this is just another example of the state exercising its monopoly over violence. And violence begets trauma. And for too many, for too long, trauma begot silence. And that is why the TSA should not finger fuck a poet. Okay. So I don't know, I know most of you guys, but for those of you who don't know me, one of the things that I'm known for is fighting homelessness, which is a thing. But I also have been taking part in a lot of activism against the drug war. And sometimes when I tell people we need to end the drug war, they clutch their pearls and say, but Chris, what about fentanyl? As a recovering opiate junkie, surely you support the war on fentanyl, don't you? And all I can say is, we got 10 decades of drug war and nothing but back alley drug markets littered with helpless skeletons to show for it. We tried badges, sirens, guns, and sticks. We lost. We tried cages, prison cuffs, and bricks. We lost. Let's slap that dirty little wad in a pair of star-spangled handcuffs, because in the land of the free, a man is expected to stand up and wave a cheap plastic American flag from Dollar Tree over taking a knee in the face of falsely patriotic idolatry. But Chris, say you radical little rascal, mustn't we hold the proprietors of poison to account, those drug-dealing thugs killing kids? But yo, the real body count isn't the drugs so much, it would seem. That honor would go to other little kids with AR-15s. But danger is not the point of the drug war, that's a joke. Yo, if cocaine were made legal, your boy Scarface would go broke. They need to keep feeding prisons, pushing people in to do time, because slavery is only legal when it's done in punishment of crime. And that's not some wacky shit I'm saying, it's to act, right? It's right there in the fucking 13th Amendment in black and white. Speaking of black and white, do you know that 80% of all drug users in the land of the free are white, and 80% of all drug prisoners in the land of the free are black? That's either awfully convenient or some fucked up math. While we're out of here, tell me if this shit tracks. 3,916,960. Yo, head check. 3,916,960. That is the number of apartments that could be rented for 1 year. With the amount of money that we piss away on penitentiaries each year, the DEA spends $6.6 million a day. And what's on the rise? Mass incarceration, overdoses, and drones in the sky. It's just an excuse for jackbooted thugs to do unspeakable evil. This ain't a war on drugs, this is a war on people. If it was a war on drugs, we'd be fighting addiction. We'd fight with physicians instead of tanked up cops on paramilitary missions. We've been sold a fiction that turns neighborhoods into war zones and felons out of men just trying to provide warm homes. And by the way, we all know they're only felons when they're like out on the street and have melanin. They're forgiven when they're like white guys in high-rise towers with suits and ties. Eli Lilly, Purdue Pharma, and those guys, those are the motherfuckers that fentanyl is brought to you by. So when you ask me if we should keep fighting this war because fentanyl exists, you're gonna have to forgive me for telling you you're missing the point of this shit. All right. Damn. So everything that you've heard me do tonight is on this album. I'm gonna do one that's too new to be on the album. Hey, look at that. You're so good at this, you guys. Joe. All right. I want to just, before I do this poem, I want to warn you it is kind of gross. And you may not like me much after you hear this poem. I want to also just thank everybody one more time for coming out here. Thanks to the Purple Bee for having us. This is going to be the last bit of this, but yo, we're going to have a band, the Fitzky Brothers from New York, are going to be here with Melody Trucks. And so we just keep hanging out. We keep the party going all night long. Yeah. All right. It's odd, to say the least, how I oscillate between debilitating loneliness with a dash of crippling self-doubt and a first deadly sin level of pride of the kind that would lead me to say some shit like, I am the dopest motherfucker alive. But mostly I just kind of feel lonely. Maybe that's why I like skateboarding so much. Solo sport. But when I skateboard, I pour into it everything I've ever known. Every love, every hate, every broken collarbone, every bruise and scrape. When I work until my soul screams to be left alone. And my fingers are worn down to the bone and streaks of blood run down my wrists like the streaks of blood I leave on the cement when I fall off my skateboard and scrape my flesh across the gravel like my face is some kind of crayon made to leave the mark of my pain in shades of red and streaks across the pavement. And whether it's out of standalone badassery or regular old lonely ass sadness, do all that shit alone. But when I fuck like it's the last time anyone will ever fuck. I eat pussy like a knight that's been starved for a lifetime and is about to enter the Coliseum to fight a lion, and he'll probably die, but he gets one last meal, and that meal is pussy. And all I can say is, thank God we found something I don't have to do alone. When I fantasize with such ferocity that the muse is scarified. Scared I'm gonna snatch my fantasies up out the land of dreams and make that shit real. I fantasize about a new world, one where people don't have to live under bridges hopeless, and the next thing you know, I've gone and built hundreds of homes for the homeless. Yo, that shit really happened. Talk about doing some shit alone. But yo, I also fantasize about another kind of world, one without me in it, and the next thing you know, I'm spending a week in a mental health clinic because I swallowed a whole bottle of pills, and you know I did that shit alone. And all I can say is, thank God we have found something I'm not good at. Maybe it's not really about skill level. Maybe I'm just not really trying that hard, and this is just the cry for help card of a 165-pound, 39-year-old toddler with the emotional intelligence of a chicken squawking about how goddamn lonely he is all the time. Meanwhile, his hen is over there quietly getting his back, no matter how much of a boasty jackass he acts like. And it's not like he asked, right? But she don't even fucking like having her Y dined in. And it's about that time that the depression chimes in. And it's like there's Fanta black stained glass between the stage lights and the stage. And it casts a shadow that's so thick and so heavy. But yo, shadows are not supposed to be heavy. Shadows are supposed to be weightless. Shadows are not supposed to be thick. They are supposed to be one-dimensional. And how is a thing so ethereal as loneliness in the hands of the dopest kid that's ever lived supposed to cast a fucking shadow to begin with? This is all to say that every day when I wake up and make my way out into the big bad world, I don't know if I'm doing it as the baddest motherfucker alive or the saddest motherfucker alive. But yo, at least I got a motherfucker that's alive. And sometimes, lonely or not, that's just gonna have to be enough. South Austin Underground Live! Thank you all so much for coming and being part of this thing with us tonight. Hang out, hang around. We got more music coming here in a little while. It's going to be a good time. But thus, this concludes the poetry portion of the
Hey, rewind. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I was saying rewind in the control room.
This concludes the poetry portion of the evening.
All right, great. I'm glad we got one of those in there because I was staying in the control room all night on some of those. They were just straight bars. And if you like what you heard, thank you so much, Chris Baker and company. Give it up one more time for every single poet tonight that took the stage and just honestly captivated everyone in the audience, everyone that was listening. It was really just, it was something so special because here at Purple Bee, we don't abide by what, you know, the mainstream says. We do whatever the hell we want, and that was a perfect representation of what we do. And thank you to everyone who shared their stories and shared their poems with us tonight. Thank you to everyone who's in the crowd. And if you didn't get this album already, make sure that, you know, what are you sleeping on, bro? Come on. You heard that shit. It was straight bars. And, you know, I know people were interested in the shirt, man. You got to hit up Chris Baker directly. You got to get that special. And don't worry. Like we said, we got a lot more music to come up for you. We just had some jazz and poetry. Thank you so much to the band tonight. South Austin Underground Live. That was sick. You guys were hitting sick grooves over some just amazing spoken word. Shit was incredible. I loved every second of it. I hope it's not the last one, you know? I think that's a new segmentation we got here at Purple Bee. And you know what? It's Saturday night, so what else would we do except for double up with some badass music? Ain't that right, brother?
Yeah, what's happening next door, G? What's happening over there? Oh, well, I'll tell you what's happening. Abstract AFCR's in the house. He's going to play us through this break with a hot set live in your face. Abstract AFCR, take it away.
Long after these legs are held, long after they've forgotten they were there, the kite forever waiting for this dream to break. Hope is what is left after the wind leaves you. Neither lies or deceives you, but it will convince you to continue. Hope is the truth in spite of facts. Makes your spirit stretch, keeps you. It's holding on. It's holding on. Empty hands. 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 It's holding on. Empty hands.